Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Codex podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger, and joining me today, as usual, is my co-host, Jamie Wojcik.
What is going on, everybody? We're missing Tim today, but he's got parenting obligations, something about a concert. I don't remember what for, but
Yeah,
he will be back.
He should be back soon. Tim, like I said, he was on his way to a concert. I heard though that he fell and he can't get up.
This is a believable statement. Like, if there is one believable statement in the world, this is it.
Well, we hope he gets up soon and he can be here next week when we got.
It's like when a turtle flips over and it can't get off its shell. It just tries and tries and tries and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, we'll be doing this and we'll be taking care of the show, just you and I. And we hope
I'm good with that.
We get to the next one, he's able to turn around. Hopefully, he's able to see that concert and then able to return to the show.
Yeah. Now, real fast, I do want to say one thing. It just hit me like an epiphany. It's me and you again for the first time in a while. And just to sit here and look at what we're doing right now compared to the very first day we tried this, I think we've come a long way, buddy.
I mean, we have. Yeah, good job. To you, give you a fist bump all the way from Illinois.
Yeah, right back at you from Wisconsin.
Yeah, we have. We got a whole team now from Codex. We got multiple shows from the Codex station. In the beginning, we were just the Codex podcast. Now we are the Codex station.
I still have all of the original like concept work and everything, like the original banner we had. And then now we're like,
nice.
Oh wow, everything changed. This is great.
Yeah, even I got some of those old notes from the original episodes, and when we were like, okay, we got like 3 topics or 3 things, and then we're just like, okay, we'll take it from there.
I remember our first episode was 36 minutes long, and that was with the full thing that we normally do, because the whole time we were so nervous. And anyone wants to watch it, you can see it firsthand. Sonny was like this the entire episode.
Barely looking. I was just like looking down the whole time, but.
And then the first review took about 37 seconds.
Oh, yeah, it was fast.
So he's like, you gave it to me. I read it. 10 out of
10. Loved it.
Oh, but yeah. No, it was just good to see 2 years in and we're still going strong.
Yeah, going strong. And next year, 2023, will be even stronger. We'll have even more things from the Codex. And now we get on. Before we get to our comic news, there was something that happened last week, and I didn't get to finish up on that. And that was when we were having our talk on the F list, and it was about Super Pro.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to mention some of Super Pro's villains. Are you ready for some of the names of his villains? Some of NFL Super Pro's villains include Instant Replay, Kabuki Back, Ripsaw, and Quick Kick.
I want to see Instant Replay.
Yeah, he's a little cooler looking than one would guess, but kind of cheesy, especially that name. That name just ruins him. But yeah.
I think it fits perfect. Instant Replay. It's like he does it again and again, the same thing over and over.
He's like time. I think it was like he time travels, so technically he could, again, a punch again. Oh, he goes back in time and punches again, something like that. But yeah, that was what I forgot to mention about Super Pro. Later, we will have the F list again. We will have our topic of the week, which would be which supervillain would you like to see become a superhero? We will have another round of Do You Know? We will top off the show with a review of Web of Spider-Man, 13 Point of View. And now we do start off our show with the comic news. And Jamie has some of the biggest news with WW3. And no, I don't mean World War III.
I mean, you could at this point, but most people probably agree and disagree because that's how our community works here. But yeah, so it was officially announced that Wonder Woman 3 is no longer happening. To me, it does not come as a shock with everything that's being shaken up right now at DC. Now, rumor mill, which, leads into our next little part, states that it was basically a discrepancy between Patty Jenkins, James Gunn, and all the heads. Realistically, it was more of a Patty Jenkins thing. She was doing the same thing from Wonder Woman 2, or Wonder Woman 84. And it just bled over to this. They didn't even know if Wonder Woman 3 was going to happen after the second one. So there was no real clear inclination of if that was going to be even possible. So to see it kind of go under finally is like a fresh breath of fresh air to me. Um, yeah, it's just the whole shakeup with DC is going to be something that people are going to either love or hate in the process, but I think it's going to work out in the long run. So hopefully with this one, we start seeing more group activity, like more Justice League or more like crisis event type level happening, and we can insert Wonder Woman there and still make it relevant.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, and then when I was looking into it, yeah, it was the director Patty Jenkins that she had made a treatment, and that some of the heads, they were Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdi, that they
Mhm.
turned it down, and that's when she got very mad, and I guess they said that she didn't want to change her treatment. She said, "This is how it's going to be. I don't want to change it at all." I mean, in a way, it's someone like, let's say we make a show, right? Like, let's say we have Code X, or not my own. I do my writing books. I would hate it if someone said, "Hey, change it." But when you do work in film, you work in big companies. Obviously, if you're having Wonder Woman, and if somebody said, "Hey, you could work on something," you gotta be a bit open minded
Yeah,
at points to
you
say,
gotta be
"Okay, I'll
okay with
consider it."
subject to change.
Yeah. So I mean, I could understand sometimes you don't want to let go of something of a vision you have, but sometimes you gotta be willing to work with others. Like too, yeah, because the first Wonder Woman, I really liked it. I think when the first one was really popular. The second
Yes.
one was not popular. I still
And
enjoyed it. I actually
yeah,
enjoyed
there
it, but
was
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
people didn't like
controversy
it.
behind it. But other
Yeah.
than that, like it wasn't horrible. I think the only part that I still hated was the fact that she lasso whipped a lightning bolt somehow.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, Lady Thor, like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. So with as much as we may have liked it, maybe she liked it. When you get such a bad reception as the second was Wonder Woman 84 got, you have to expect that people are going to want, especially the studio heads are going to say, okay, let's for the third one, it's going to have to be a bit different so that we don't get the same bad reception. And if you just like, no, 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 that's not going to be good, especially when they're
Yeah.
trying to change things up.
Well, that was the same issues that they had with 84 is that she had the vision for 84 and no one wanted it to happen. She fought for it and they gave it to her and the reception was not as well as the very first one. So I think that's what really bled into what's going on now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but with the bad news mill of the week, we have a little bit more bad news. And Sonny, I will let you take that one away because I am tired of having to bring these up.
Yes. Last month, inker Danny Bulanadi. Damn, geez, messed up on my words. I want to make sure that I
Yeah,
get his name pronounced. Danny Bulanadi,
there
the
you go.
inker, has passed away. He passed away at the age of 76 from chronic heart failure. And now Danny has been the inker for a long time, for decades, and he has worked on the works of Quasar all the way from the beginning. He's worked on Micronauts, which is his first work as an inker. He worked on Daredevil, Fantastic Four, Captain America, most notably the story arc Streets of Poison, and he even worked on a Punisher story that I have, and it's a Punisher graphic novel, and that is The Punisher No Escape, right here, and somewhere in there you might be able to see his
There you
name.
go.
Yep,
Yep.
third. Although they have him as finishes, but yeah, so he has worked on quite a bit, and yeah, there you go. You see a bit of the work he has done. This is from the Epic Collection. The Punisher Jigsaw Puzzle Epic Collection, which, as you see, the story actually is the one that takes the cover. Yeah, so Danny Bulanadi, he is a legend that not many people knew of. And like I said, an inker, and he's worked on so much. Even I wanted to mention quite a bit, but yeah, he's worked on even a lot more than that. Yeah, he was born February 8th, 1946, in Manila, Philippines, and yeah, like I said, obviously made quite an impact in the comic book world, working on all those stories as the inker. And a little fun fact is that in his home country of the Philippines, sometimes he liked to sing love songs under the name of Danny Harana. And they said those videos you can even check out on YouTube. That he got a bit of fame with that as well. So
Oh,
we
that's cool.
do, yeah. So we do wish Danny Bulanadi and his family well. May he rest in peace, and we wish his family, how would I say it? A recovery. Our condolences from here at
Yeah.
Codex.
Yes, very much so. And this just goes to show, and I don't think we talk about it enough. We'll talk about, writers and artists, but we never talk like inkers, pencilers, colorists, layouts, editorial, like all those things go into making what we love. And no matter what part of it is, to see someone go is just heartbreaking. You might not know exactly who it is, but then you go back and see what they worked on. You're like, wow, this person really did bring this whole story to life for me. And this is one of my favorite arcs, or whatever it should be. You know, people get overlooked in the industry all the time, and it's a sad part, but also a blessing, because then once you go back and see all their work, then it lives with you. So again, we do send our condolences out.
Yes, yeah, and like you said, a lot of times we think of just maybe the writer or just the main artist, but yeah, it takes a whole team to make these comic books that we love.
But on a good note, Sonny, you do have another bit of information for us, and it's about a certain man in a cape.
That is right. The Man of Steel. There is going to be a new Superman story coming out next year. So we do have something to look forward to, and that is Superman Lost, the story that will be written by Christopher Priest, and it is set to be 10 issues. And in this story, it is set to be released. The first issue will come out March 14th.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have a little bit of something I can read, and this is from AIPT Comics. And it mentions that DC Comics has announced Christopher Priest is moving from his Black Adam miniseries to a new Superman series called Superman Lost. The 10-issue series launches in comic shops on March 14th. The series will feature art by Carlo Bagulayan, inks by Jason Paz, colors by Jeremy Cox, and letters by Willie Schubert. And then now this is in parentheses what it is basically saying what the plot is. And it says Superman Lost has been several years in the making, and it's been incredibly difficult for me to keep quiet about this, said writer Christopher Priest. I'm absolutely delighted to be reunited with my Deathstroke team as we explore the emotional toll a tragic loss exacts. A man of steel from an alien species is ultimately the most human among us, and finding his way home is only the beginning.
Yes. Now, I'm trying to figure out, because I looked into this a little bit more. I'm trying to figure out if this is a continuation of what's going on while he hasn't been around, and why he hasn't been around, what his journey's been like, because just recently he came back, or if this is just an Elseworld solo series that is going to take place and not fit into the continuity.
From what I read too, it seems like it could go with what you said, how he's been gone for a while, because it says that Superman has been gone. He doesn't, or it says that Lois doesn't feel like he's been gone too long, and he comes back and he seems a bit different. He says, "I've been gone for 20 years."
Oh, so yeah. So in that case, I think that's an Elseworld story, because of the fact that Jonathan's still like supposedly 17 in the story when he came back, or 18.
Okay.
So it shouldn't. I don't think that would fit in the continuity unless it's somehow rectified as, oh yeah, we jumped 20 years into the future if they have another, relaunch.
Yeah. But I wonder it could be where he was. Like maybe for him it felt like 20 years, but for
And
us,
then, but here it was like
something,
a
yeah.
year.
So it could be, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. But yeah. So Superman Lost, they said comes out. Part 1 comes out March 14th, and it will be going on throughout the year of 2023.
Yeah, and
So
I
I
think
guess
Christopher Priest is an amazing writer, like especially with his Black Adam series right now. It's going well. And he was also part of comic character of the week for Black Panther, if I'm not mistaken.
okay, cool.
He did Black Panther's story that all of us agreed on. But yeah, I can't wait for it. It's gonna be good. I hope so. At least we need a good Superman story again.
Yes, and it is good and good to have some good news and something to look forward to in 2023.
Oh, definitely. I'm not gonna get used to it. I just got used to writing 2022 on things.
Yeah, yes, I mean, yeah, me too. I gotta remember 2023 coming up in a few weeks because here we are in December 13th.
Yes, as of today.
Do you know what else I'm looking forward to, Jamie?
Erasing this past year.
That'd be one thing I would not mind doing, but I do not have the powers of this next person we'll be talking about, and that's why we move on to the F list. And our character who joins the F list this week is the Eraser, Leonard, Lenny Fiasco. There he is in toy form. And Jamie's got quite a few pictures of him for all of us to see. There he is. Look at him right there. He's an F lister.
First off, did Rob Liefeld draw his feet?
No, this was before him, but he may have inspired him.
Yes, he definitely an inspiration here.
There he is.
I like how he looks like Plank from Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Okay, so everybody, a little bit about the Eraser. Let me get you some info first. And the Eraser made his first appearance in Batman 188 in December 1966. And on the cover of that comic book, you see him almost like erasing Batman, and it says, Batman, whoosh, here comes the rubber-headed villain, the Eraser who tried to rub out Batman. Special Bat Thriller, the 10 best dressed corpses in Gotham City. And this character, yes, is obviously you can see he's not the best. You know, he literally wears an eraser helmet. And there's a scene in there and where he's coming up to a well-dressed, old-looking man with a big mustache that definitely fits the 60s. And the eraser, oh yeah, well, first the man, well, as the eraser comes in, the man says, you must be the eraser. I expected you here after the job was finished. And the eraser says, a good eraser removes clues as they're being made.
All right,
So
real fast, you need to do the rest of the show in that voice. I'm just saying, if you do not, we riot.
Well, it even has it, yeah. But when they say yeah, it's YUH for that guy, and the is TH apostrophe. So that's that guy literally does that. Maybe one day if I only have the mustache again, I will have to do the full episode in that guy's voice. You hear me?
Yeah.
Now, more things about the eraser. He would put in an ad in the newspaper, and it read, don't take chances. Let the eraser erase every clue from your crimes. Only 20% of job before taxes. Right to box 19611, general delivery. And yeah, so if you need more things to hear about the eraser, as you can see from one of the pictures, if you want to put any of the pictures up.
Yep, I could do. Boom.
Yeah, there we go. That shows a lot. Actually, that scene I read was from the one from everybody viewing. It would be the corner left one where it looks the oldest. Yeah. And yeah, as you can see, he wears an eraser helmet, a protective headgear that not only covers who he is, but he erases clues with that. Fingerprints, footprints, and that's what he does. He uses that. And in the picture to the top right corner, you can see he's wearing those sharp point shoes, which are shaped like the pencil, the part that you could write with the ink, and then also out of those he shoots knockout gas. Those are some things.
A character, like, okay, so in my mind, he is the perfect worst villain. Like, ability to get rid of all the clues, throw off the detective himself, all that good stuff. But then he looks like a pencil.
Yes.
So it kind of disturbs me a little bit. I just want to point out that Rob Liefeld did not draw his feet. If you look at the bottom,
He may have been inspired though.
Yeah, a little bit of an inspiration there. It looks like he's never hit leg day. Ever was. His body just kind of forms into one. But I do appreciate the pencil look.
In what way?
Just in the way of it, like if he just puts his arms and legs together and puts them down, it'll match his helmet.
Yeah, yeah. He does not have any muscle to him or any fat. He just is literally shaped like a pencil.
Yeah, like he was born, and they're like just erase with him. Like,
yeah, born.
Like, I screwed up how to spell his name, and then they used to use top of his head, and they're like.
And can you imagine seeing him at a crime scene, just some guy pinning his head towards everything, erasing footprints off of the ground?
I've seen a couple of those in Chicago.
Yes, there are quite a few characters here in Chicago. So I can't argue with that.
Yeah, so I mean, normally when I see that, I just keep walking. I'm like, that's a super villain. From now on, I'm just gonna be like, that's a super villain.
Yeah, be careful. He may shoot gas out of his pointy shoes.
Oh God!
And if you want to hear some history, but there's a history behind Lenny Fiasco, the Eraser. And I'll read this.
Tell us.
Yes, this is from Batman Wiki. Lenny Fiasco was a college classmate of Bruce Wayne. Batman, in case you didn't know, and was continually mocked by his fellow students for all the mistakes he made in class. The few people who remembered Lenny always pictured him with an eraser in hand correcting his mistakes. The only girl Lenny ever wanted was classmate Celia Smith, and he planned to take her to the school's ice carnival. Lenny was crushed when she chose to go with Bruce Wayne. Feeling quite bitter, he turned to a life of crime, developing an eraser costume that could eliminate all evidence from a crime scene.
Yeah,
That's
I
his
mean,
story, yeah.
I need a full story arc where Batman doesn't know what crime is being committed, because every time he shows up to the crime scene, all the clues are gone. And I need about 50 issues of a lead up to the end where it's like, ha ha ha, I got you, Batman. And it's him standing there and he's like, I lost to the eraser. And just end it right there. Don't have to keep going. Don't have to show you beating him up. If I don't care what the outcome is, I just want to see him be like, seriously, you?
Just the eraser runs right into him with that eraser head. And in their one story, well, he hasn't been in much, the eraser.
No.
We could see why, yeah.
Yeah.
And in that story he debuted in, I'm pretty sure it was that issue when Batman confronted him, found out who he was, or actually it was Bruce Wayne came across him. He remembered Bruce Wayne somehow, like he could smell him. He's like, oh, I remember everybody's smell or something like that.
Because that's what pencils do.
Yeah, because I'm like, yeah, I don't know what that has to do with a pencil, that his smell is super good and he can tell you were wearing this. So you're actually Bruce Wayne. And that when he mentioned the girl, Celia, like, oh, you took her to the dance. It said that Bruce Wayne didn't even remember her name. He didn't know who it was.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
Not surprising whatsoever.
Yeah, not surprising.
Bruce Wayne.
Yes, I thought that was pretty funny. The whole thing is he's mad about this girl, and Bruce Wayne's like, who?
It's like that Thanos moment with Scarlet Witch is like, I don't even know who you are.
Yes, yeah, basically. So Bruce Wayne was pretty much the original person with that back in the 60s when we had this F-lister called the Eraser. Now, Jamie, one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the Eraser making it out of the F list?
Yes, I can. Right now with Batman and Zdarsky at helm, I could see it. I mean, Zdarsky made Stiltman relevant again with Daredevil. I'm pretty sure you can make the Eraser relevant again in Batman. Like, I think if you give him a 6-issue story arc, you could pull it off. Like, kind of like what I was saying, have it be something where he can't figure out the clues. Have Batman defeated because all the clues are gone. You know, I can't be a detective if I don't know what's going on. And then literally like near the end, be like, I got you, Batman, like twirly mustache type style, and be like, I haven't seen you. You are one of my oldest foes. It's the Eraser, and it just go right into it and just bring him back into continuity, make him whole again. Kind of maybe repackage him to make him look like a number 2 pencil, preferably, or even, you know what, make him a mechanical pencil. Who cares? But, you know, it'll still make him relevant again. And I think that if anyone could do it, it's Chip Zdarsky.
That's a good, yeah, like I said, if anybody can do it, it's Chip Zdarsky. But for me, I don't see the Eraser leaving the F list. Like you said, you can make him a good story, but I mean, if you would show one of those pictures
Imagine it being an award-winning comic like story in its own right. I mean, I could even see it being a 12-issue maxi series on its standalone. Like, it doesn't have to fit in the continuity. It doesn't have to fit in anything. It's just Bruce Wayne at his worst, can't figure out what's going on with life, and the Eraser is the reason.
Yeah, I think you would need something else going on. I mean, would you show one of those pictures again for an audience?
Of course I can. I'm gonna show the best one.
There you go. Yeah, there he is. I don't just looking at even if he makes such a great story, it could be a great story, but looking like that with that pencil head, I don't think he can get out of
like every time you see him in a panel and you don't know who he is and he's the main villain, you see him like writing something down with a number 2 pencil or chewing on the pencil or something. He's always got a pencil in hand.
Yeah. I think he could use his shoes almost as the pencil because they're supposed to be shaped like, he is truly shaped like a pencil, but Yeah. First, because the story is, I would say you got to use somebody else, because if you're making this a great story and it's serious and Batman's going through all these emotions, and then boom, suddenly the eraser pops up, really anybody is going to be able to take that man serious. And then if you completely change him, he's not going to be the eraser. He can be, you know, Lenny Fiasco can make his way out just by, maybe being like a sidekick villain to somebody else. But I think
Yeah.
the eraser stays on the F list pretty much
I
for all
mean,
time.
only time will tell. I mean, I still got another couple years left, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we hope you got long. We hope we all have longer. And that Code X is going for a very long time.
Oh yeah, codex is going until I'm 6 feet in the ground, so that's no doubt about it. But I think it's going to be a very, very. I mean, just you got to think though, Sonny. Every time we bring up the F list now, because I think this is a pretty much stagnant part of the show. Like, there's so many people that have been brought back over the years, and just in the smallest form, smallest way, and it's still relevant in some kind of format, and it's still great to see, because then you go back and be like, oh, I remember this. I was watching something about Immortal Hulk last night. Side tangent, sorry, but
No
I was
problem.
watching something and they were talking about all the characters that came out and like when Hulk first debuted, and they haven't been seen since, and Al Ewing brought these characters back,
Nice.
even though they were in one issue. Like, it's cool to see, and I have hope that it's going to continue to happen, and I'll make you eat your own pencil when the eraser comes back and becomes one of the most dangerous villains in the Batman Rogue family.
All right, man. Well, you heard it here on the Code X podcast. And yeah, that is one interesting thing. Like you did say, so many comics have that, where in the beginning they took on so many F list characters. So yeah, I'm like, the F list can go for a while. I'm like, yeah, there's so many comics. Really can go back to a lot of the original ones, and you'll see a
Yeah.
lot of characters like the Eraser.
Yes. Definitely. Definitely the eraser.
Yeah, and well, now the Eraser state, his name does not get erased from the F list, and we move on from him to our topic of the week. And that topic of the week is, which supervillain would you like to see become a superhero? And as usual, Jamie has our top 3 comments.
All right. First off, we got Rob Spittle says Berman. After hearing the audiobook for Craven's Last Hunt, you can hear how tortured a soul they are. Seeing them try for redemption and positivity could be an enjoyable story. Anti-hero taking control of the pests in the slumlord's building and bringing visitors to their personal homes, etc. Next up, we got Dale Hobbs with Doom! Exclamation point. And lastly, our very own Archduke Kevy. Temporarily, I like to see Darkseid Redemption arc. It hasn't been done before, and there would be a lot of different angles to play it. Why is he doing this? What's his real goal? Switching over his cause as much turmoil as he's tried to prevent. We can't trust him, but ... So yeah, thank you all who commented, shared. I mean, anyone that can make it on here, awesome. I'm happy to see what the best 3 answers are every time we do this.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Yeah, and like I said, that's always a comic character of the day. You can always check that out on the Facebook group, but they have the Facebook group, Comic Character of the Day, and they do have an Instagram of it too.
Yeah, I know. They've liked every single photo of mine.
Nice, and I had a nice surprise too the other day with many likes, many hearts, and always
Kevin
appreciate
has a
it,
lot of time on his hands.
and we appreciate that. I
Yes.
don't mind. But yeah, so good page, yeah, good, awesome group to go to. All of us here from Code X are there in Comic Character of the Day, and we comment, so you'll be able to chat with all of us. But yeah,
Mhm.
again, thank you everybody for commenting. So I'll get on to what I think. First of all, I would like to say, yeah, those are good picks. And yeah, Vermin is interesting, yeah, because Vermin was in Craven's Last Hunt, such a huge storyline in Marvel and Spider-Man, and yet the character, for having a big part in there, he doesn't really get much mention. Otherwise, he's not in other big stories or anything like that. So yeah, maybe somebody will be able to bring him back and give him turn him into a superhero. But for me, I picked Mr. Sinister. I'm an X-Men guy,
We
and
know. We
yeah,
know.
So I had to go with Mr. Sinister. I don't know if there's been any kind of stories about him kind of turning, like his backstory, and he had humble beginnings, and he was trying to help out, and his wife was sick, and eventually, in his own way, he didn't believe like, oh, I'm being bad. He believed he was helping people out, and then obviously took a sinister turn, and became one of the greatest villains. Even I think he's one of the best. I think most people who are, especially X-Men fans, can believe he's definitely one of the best X-Men villains. But I think to see him try to become at least try to see him become a superhero and try to turn things around and get his group and all his team and everybody. I'm not too sure what they're called in comics nowadays, but yeah, I remember back then, around like the 90s, they were called the Nasty Boys. I'm not too sure what they're called now, but for Mr. Sinister to turn and at least try to be a superhero, I think could be a great story. So Mr. Sinister is my pick.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree with you there. I know they're coming out with a new, I think it's a mini series of Mr. Sinister. I forgot what it's called, Summer Sinister or something like that. But it is coming out next year, so be ready for that, Sonny. Definitely, you might want to check that out.
Was it Sins of Sinister?
Sins of Sinister,
okay,
something like that. Or something along those lines. I know Sale's excited about it because you X-Men fans are all like, usually wrong. But if I was gonna pick one, and I'm going for a long shot here, and I'm gonna stick in the Marvel universe here, I'm gonna go Mephisto.
Wow.
And I'm gonna sit there and say Mephisto finally figures that he needs to change his ways because everyone's their soul back and all the deals are reversed. We see the likes of Johnny Blaze and everybody else get their souls back. Everyone they lost love come back and have a whole arc based on that. And then at the end, it is Mephisto's greatest trick he's ever pulled.
Oh man, you know what? I will say that is a great pick, man. And I think it would be a great story too. Like to see
I think that'd be a great 12-issue deal where he's giving everyone back everything. He's helping the Avengers. He's helping every team. He's basically left hell, became like a youth pasture or something. and then at the end, he's like, by the way, boom, never happened. I'm taking it all back.
Well, my friend, I usually talk about my writing, but I think you should get to writing that story. I think that would be a great one.
I think so too. The greatest trick that the devil ever sold, or something like that. So
yeah, man, if only we had those connections, man. I can go forward with a sinister story, and I'd say, man, check out my friend too. He's got a Mephisto
you're gonna
story
call me, or you're gonna call me and be like, "What was that story about? I'm writing it. We need to figure this out together. You want to be co-writer?"
I'll take Sinister. You take Mephisto.
Yeah, right. We just have the whole team on board.
Yeah, but awesome picks. Like I said, again, great pick from you. I think my pick was pretty good, and great picks from everybody who commented. Yeah, so thank you again for commenting. Which supervillain would you like to see become a superhero?
Well, Sonny, I do got a question for you, and it's a serious one. Do you know where you can get these comics that we're talking about for a great, reasonable price?
I think you may be able to show me something.
Yes, I can. Check this out, and guys, go save yourself some money. Everyone, if you're anything like me, you love comics, but you also love a good deal. And our friends over at Heroscornercomics have just the deal for you. From exclusives to back issues, graded slabs, current issues, and even set up a subscription with them. And all you have to do is use the keyword codex at checkout. That's CODEX, and you will save 20% store wide. So don't miss out. And yes, I want to thank everyone over at Heroes Corner Comics. Once again, you guys are amazing. You guys do great work. If you haven't got a chance yet and you've seen Sales YouTube channel, Sales Corner or Sales Comic Corner, not to be confused, he did get a big epic mail call from them that took over 18, almost 20 minutes for him to show everything.
Biggest an understatement, man.
Yeah, their packaging is the best I've ever seen. The way they take care of their customers too is great. I bought stuff from them. I'm pretty sure everyone's bought stuff from them at this point. But yes, definitely go save yourself some money. Definitely go take a look at them and help out a community grow. I mean, least we could do here, you know?
And don't forget to use that code X.
No hyphen,
code.
just CODEX.
Yeah, you said, get yourself some great comic books. And like I said, I saw sales. Mail call. It was
oh my God.
huge.
He's going to show that off on an
issues.
After Dark. And I'm going to be like, dude, that's going to be the episode. Like,
yeah, I had a comment too. Remember, in our comment, we all have together our Codex team, and I was like, so now I know if I ever go to a comic shop and they say we're out of this comic, I'm just gonna immediately assume Sal bought all the copies.
Yeah, every single last one of them. So, but now let's get into Do You Know, our favorite part of the show. And I believe it is my turn to start this week.
That is right. It is you.
All right, Sonny. So, we all know with Marvel, they have a vast variety of cosmic entities, right? But do you know, how did the Star brand come to Earth?
Oh, that was definitely easy. It was certainly Kazar used the gemstone, put it up to the top of a mountain in the Savage Land, and that is what brought them there to live happily ever after, until Sauron ruined things.
Sonny, I would love that story from you because that is so made up. It is amazing. Actually, Starbrand impacted the Earth as part of the meteor that killed off all the dinosaurs.
Okay, so I have a half point.
No, that's not even worth the point. Like, if you would have been like, something happened with dinosaurs, I might have thought about it.
I forgot to mention the part that Kazar was riding a dinosaur on his way there.
All right, quarter point.
All right, but there we go. Now I know. Okay, if I don't know, like, you might as well just
try
most random
throw
guess.
something out.
Okay, Jamie. Now my question for you. This one happens to go with our F list since we had the eraser.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will go with Jamie. Do you know who is Marvel's equivalent to DC's The Eraser?
Why do I feel like I should know this? The Vanisher.
Well, I could see that's a pretty good guess, but unfortunately, you are wrong, my friend. Marvel's equivalent to DC's The Eraser is Kutza, the Living Eraser. And he would basically, yes, he's as bad as he sounds. He would basically erase people, but the parts that were erased, like let's say if he erased my mouth would be in another dimension until I somehow get it back.
Okay, but that's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. That's a little bit cooler than the eraser in that aspect. Like if I could erase you into another dimension, I would in a heartbeat. Good one though. Okay,
right,
sorry.
So now we're moving round 2.
So we did cover this in a review that we did, and this is a while back, not that long, but you gave it the worst score out of everybody. All right, so Sonny, we all know that there's this long lineage of symbiotes that spawn from Venom. But Sonny, do you know what the first appearance of the poisons were?
I would just say Edge of Venomverse #1.
So for those that haven't seen the review of Edge of Venomverse, Sonny did say he was going to try out the next series, which if he did, he would know that it's just Venomverse #1.
Okay. Okay. Yep. One of these days, I was thinking, when did we have to review that?
On that one. I was like, let's see if he actually read it.
Not yet. Maybe we'll review it next year. But okay. All right, so now we move on to them. Now this one may seem like it's a bit out of the ballpark. So
You know what, buddy? At
I
this
can give you a
point,
hint.
and watching all the old Do You Knows, I don't put anything past you anymore.
Okay, so we usually do episodes on Wednesday, and there's this super popular show on Netflix. It's the most popular show right now, and it is called Wednesday, about the character Wednesday Addams.
Mm-hmm.
So we know the Addams family. But many people don't know that the Addams family originally started off in comic books. Well, in comic strips, which is still part of comics. So my question for you is, do you know what year did the Addams family make their first appearance? Would you like a hint?
I'll take a hint.
It is the same year a major superhero made their first appearance.
1939.
Jamie, if you 1 year off.
1938.
1938. The Addams family made their 1 year earlier in 1938. The Addams family made their first appearance in a comic strip the same year as the Man of Steel, Superman.
Yeah, I hate my life right now. Moving on.
1 year off. We're very, very close. I will give you a thumbs up.
Yeah,
and
that I'll
PDF
take a thumbs
participation trophy.
Yes, those are vastly overrated. So we are going to be talking about Spider-Man today. So this next question is Spider-Man oriented, and it goes with a villain. So Sonny, what is the first appearance of Matt Gargan? Sorry about that. Matt Gargan as Scorpion.
Okay, and Scorpion was mentioned in the story we're reviewing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the Amazing Spider-Man 7.
You are 13 issues off. It was the Amazing Spider-Man number 20.
Okay. So I knew Scorpion is one of the early ones. Okay. So he is
Scorpion was definitely one. Now, not to be confused, Matt Gargan's first appearance, not as Scorpion, was issue 19.
Okay, so he appears, and the next issue is Scorpion. Yes. Okay. All right, my friend. Christmas is coming up, so I decided to give you a present. This one, you might. I help you get this one. This is one many should know. We had a one shot with Ron Mars, and we know he was one. We know he's written so many great stories, including Marvel versus DC. So my question for you is this, Jamie: do you know who wrote Marvel versus DC with Ron Mars?
Who wrote it with Ron Mars?
Yep, because there were two writers on it.
Yeah, there was, and we just talked about him, and I should be knowing this right now because of the fact. Oh my god! Hang on, I'm gonna get this. It wasn't who we're reviewing today. It wasn't Peter David. I'm guessing that.
So your guess is?
Yeah, Peter David.
And you were correct.
Oh, okay, good.
There you go. Peter David wrote Marvel vs. DC with Ron Mars.
Yeah, because at first I was like,
Peter David wrote 2 issues.
Yeah, I got thrown off by that. I was like, I feel like this is a trick question for some reason. Like I'm like, I know. I'm like, it's Peter David, but is it?
So there you go. It is that said. There's a little gift since, like I said, this will be our last regular episode of the year. So I said, let me give Jamie one that he should get, and you did come through, and you got it,
and I won the last episode of the year.
You win the last one, yeah. So
God, it's like being the last picked in the NFL draft.
But hey, at least it's getting picked right, and you're better than NFL Pro.
Yes, I'm happy with that.
All right, well, there you go. Do you know it's in the books for 2022?
Be back with more for 2023.
Yeah, yes, definitely have more of Do You Know It's in 2023. Now, everybody, for editing purposes, I will basically start us off with something a little different. I will basically reintroduce us for the review portion of this show. So that's how I'll be reintroducing ourselves. And, okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Codex review. And today we are reviewing Spider-Man, the Web of Spider-Man 13 Point of View. Now, as usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger, and joining me as usual is my co-host, Jamie Wojcik. And
What's
Jamie T,
going on, everybody? I can't wait to get in. I kind of can't wait to actually get into this one because I had very mixed reviews on this.
very interesting. Yeah. So today, maybe I said it wrong when I said Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man. This is Web of Spider-Man.
Yes.
13 point of view. So let me start us off with the credits. And they start off with this. Okay, so the writer is Peter David, the penciler is Mike Harris, the inker is Kyle Baker, the colorist is Bob Sharon, the letterer is Phil Felix, and the editors are Jim Owsley. And although not mentioned in the comic book, if you look it up, it says that Maddie Blaustein was also one of the editors.
Okay.
So I will start us off with basically talking us through the story of Web of Spider-Man point of view. First, we start off with Spider-Man. He's in the black symbiote outfit, and he sees a man looking like he's about to run into a truck. He's about to get hit by a truck, and Spider-Man saves him. But we start off the issue, and it's almost like it's being read like a newspaper article.
Yeah.
And the newspaper is not being very nice to the web slinger Spider-Man. And it starts off with certain things saying things like this. He was looking down like some vulture, said Sharon Jarvis, a literary agent, through that horrible black mask, laughing down at that poor man. So as you can tell, it's basically showing how the news makes Spider-Man look bad. We know who's behind that at the Daily Bugle. We know that it is J. Jonah Jameson. And well, like I said, Spider-Man still does his thing. He saves Buddy Corbett. And then we're going into the story, and we see that the news article is going against him. And we see the article is written, and it says the main title is Spidey Goes Berserk. We also see a part where people are being interviewed in the street, and we see a well-dressed man basically puts Spider-Man down. So, I think he was after the person. He grabbed, basically, people trying to say he grabbed the truck and was trying to hit the man with the truck. As opposed to trying to save him.
Steered it in that direction for him.
Yeah. And then we see a homeless woman saying, no, look like he was trying to save the man. And we see these news people, they're talking, and they say, you know what, we only have time for one. The people, they're going to want to see the well-dressed man more than the homeless woman. So just put in his part. Like I said, so there you go. Spider-Man looking bad. And then there is a robbery. And these people are robbing. They're not very smart criminals, as they basically blow up the ATM machine and look at their chart and burn money that they will not get to take because it's burned. Spider-Man comes along, saves the day, and again, people are so mad at him and they're insulting him. They're calling him freak. All these things, saying he's the one who's causing all this trouble. Somewhere in the story, somebody was even saying, "Who wears black? He must be bad."
Yeah, if you wear black, you're automatically in the bad. You're a villain.
Yeah. So people are saying that, and finally Spider-Man has it. And he gets angry and he says, who wants to take a shot at me? And then he's at home and he has a phone call with Mary Jane, and he's telling how mad he is. He's just fed up. He's had enough. And so he decides he's going to go after the person who's basically been one of his biggest haters from the beginning, and that is J. Jonah Jameson. At this time, Ben Urich he finds Buddy Corbett and tells him how many different names he has. Oh, I've seen in here you were this. In Detroit, you were
it was
this.
Chicago, you were this. In Detroit, you were another one. And now that you're here, now you're a different name.
Yeah. And he finds out one part I really liked was when he said, here's my favorite. In Frisco, you were Bertha Crane.
Yeah, I laughed at that. I was like, Bertha. That was
Bertha.
great.
Yeah, that he was Bertha Crane. Yeah. So Ben exposes him and finds out that actually the guy saw Spider-Man and just got freaked out because he was again running a scam, and he thought Spider-Man was after him. That's why he ran and almost got hit by the truck. And at this time, looks like Spider-Man is so angry that he goes after J. Jonah Jameson. And now, finally, after all these years, after all of the pinning down Spider-Man in the Daily Bugle, Spider-Man confronts J. Jonah Jameson once and for all. And that is where I will stop my walkthrough. If you want to know more, feel free to check out the story. I think it's a great one. For me, this story was definitely a character-driven, story-driven story. It wasn't so much an action. It was really putting the spotlight on the media putting down Spider-Man and making everybody basically turn against him, on how you can turn somebody, on how the media can make someone look really bad with what they say and how they report things. And finally, you can only push someone so much. Also, that is one thing too that this story really showed us. We know Spider-Man's good. We know he's a superhero, even though some of the people in the story don't like to admit it, and they try to make him look bad. But it shows that if you keep pushing somebody, eventually
They're gonna
everybody has
snap.
everybody has a pushing point. And finally, this is the one where Spider-Man has it, and he finally goes after J. Jonah Jameson and confronts him. And it's a confrontation that I've been wanting to see, for so long, and I think many people wanted to see. And it's written, the story's written in a different way. It's written by Peter David, and I'm a big fan of his work. And I thought, yeah, like I said, basically I already touched on it, how it showed how much the media can turn somebody, and how they can dictate the perception people have based on the way they tell their stories. And I thought there's a really good message. And also, like I said, the confrontation, Spider-Man finally confronting J. Jonah Jameson, something I've wanted to see for so long. I think this is an incredible one shot. This one for me is one that I will definitely be returning to. And although it doesn't have the big super villains, it's one of those story-driven stories that I love, and I think it's one that I would definitely recommend for everybody, Spider-Man fans all around, comic book fans, even people who aren't so much into comic books, maybe
I hear
people
in
who
your
take the news
voice.
so
Is it a 10 out of
serious.
10?
And it is a 10 out of 10 from me. That is right. I give this a 10 out of 10. It's a one shot I love and recommend. And now I want to hear what you have to say about it, Jamie.
Okay. So you going over the whole story. At the beginning, I was not enthralled by this whatsoever. Like, especially the newspaper kind of aesthetic of it at the beginning. I was like, they're just deeming him basically like unworthy. There was no real like lead in, I felt. Until we hit that point where we start to see him save I forget. Oh,
Buddy.
Bertha. Yeah.
Yeah. Buddy Bertha.
Buddy Bertha. Oh, when he saves Buddy but doesn't save Buddy. To me, like that beginning opening just kind of left me hanging. There was a plot point that kind of got thrown away, I feel. And that's when you brought up how the crowd turned against him. His spider sense went off. And he even said, he goes, is it the crowd or is it, just me? And the crowd didn't do anything yet. They didn't even like throw anything at him. And he jumped down and he's like, if you guys want to come at me, we're going to do this right now. Who wants to go? Who's the biggest? Who's the, basically trying to go at him. And then after that, he talks about how he still doesn't understand why his spider sense went off. So I don't know if this is a continuation of something or if this has been a main storyline issue into those 13 issue or 12 issues prior. So I need more context for that, I think. The golden part of this story for me, though, is like you said, it shows how media can be driven in a different direction and how the story is driven. Now, like I said, the beginning I did not care for. Like the first, I want to say, opening 8 pages. But once we got to that turmoil with Jameson is when the heat got turned up for me. And I really like that aspect of him sitting there looking at Jameson being like, I saved you enough already. I've had your back and you've never had mine. He goes, I've given you chance after chance. Like, and this is where it ends. I'm not going to say what happens, like we said, but you see how he's had enough. One thing that I do want to bring up that I did like, though, was the new photographer for the Daily Bugle and how he's like getting the photos of Spider-Man. And then when he takes him into Jameson's like, God, Parker can't even get photos like this. And that's his best friend. He's like, he always gets the weird ones where like you could barely see him and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, all right, that's pretty cool, knock. Like, I get that. But as far as the story goes, yeah, I think this is great work. This is now the third Peter David story I've read on your recommendation, and it's been great. I think Tim picked this one, but I know that you did like this one as well. But this is the third one overall on recommendation that I did enjoy. For me though, it's not a 10 out of 10. I'd love it to be a 10 out of 10 if those first couple pages were a little bit different. I don't know why I didn't like it so much at opening. I don't know if it was just the aesthetic or the feel of it, but it just didn't entice me until I got into the middle. Overall, I'm going with an 8.5 out of 10. I do recommend it. It's just the middle to the end. So second act, third act blew me away. Beginning, I could do without. So for me, 8.5 out of 10. For you, 10 out of 10.
There we go. We got so there we go. Great reviews. Yeah. Fortunately, we don't have Tim's rating. Well, he did pick us out, so I'm guessing he did like this one. But yes, I'm glad that you and I, like I said, 10 out of 10 for me, 8.5 out of 10 for you. So yeah, that's a great rating for Web of Spider-Man 13 point of view. Feel free to check it out. Yeah, and we will have definitely more reviews from Codex. We have plenty from before, and we have plenty more coming up.
Yes, we do.
So make sure to check that out.
Definitely do that. And as always, guys, I think this is a great place to end for the day. Sonny, you want to take us out with thoughts, comments, this being the last real episode of the year?
Yeah, so thank you everybody for joining us all throughout the year, even too for those who joined us in 2021 in our first year doing the Codex podcast, which became the Codex station. And over this past year, we've had so much more come onto the station, so many more team members, so many more shows, and we've got to review a lot of great comics. And hey, next week we have the Codex Awards, so make sure to check that out.
Second annual.
Yeah, the second annual. This is my first time being there. I had some family issues last time, so I'm glad to be joining everybody this year. And yeah, it's gonna be great having the whole Codex family for the Codex Awards, and it's gonna be a great time. And again, for me, thank you everybody. Hope you all have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and just all around great days, even if it's not a holiday. Just hope you're all doing good. Have yourself some great times, and I will see you at the Codex Awards, and then again in 2023, so we could do this all over again for a whole other year.
Couldn't said it better myself, Sonny. So with how you left it. But yes, go definitely check out the Codex, like an annual Codex Awards next week. It's gonna be fun. Definitely gonna be a good time. Hopefully the whole team will be there. But yeah, like Sonny said, hopefully everyone has a good rest of their year, even if it's not a holiday. Still hope you do. Thank you for those who started with us in 2021, all through 2022. Newcomers, new faces too, as well, new friends. Can't wait to see what 2023 has in store for us, because we're still on the rise and we're still going to keep going. There's no stopping anytime soon. But as always, guys, like I always say, be kind to one another out there. You never know what anyone's going through. And definitely with the holidays coming up and it being the end of the year, even making someone smile changes the course of their day or life. So always be kind. And we will see you guys in 2023.